Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Evan. I'm a Syracuse-based writer. Right now, I live there. I went to high school here at Nottingham. Go Bulldogs! And yeah, welcome to Writing Our Lives. Hashtag Everyday I Write. Um, so with that hashtag and with me making this video right now, I was given the task to kind of figure out who I am as a writer. So, and just give you guys some advice as best as I can, because ain't no one in this world perfect, but we gonna write it that way. So what I write everything from plays to films to poetry to short stories, nonfiction, pretty much anything that I can kind of express myself through, I'm exploring with. And I think that's just a really good mentality to have, is to don't kind of narrow yourself in one box. Explore and see how many of the stories that you're thinking about and creating can fit in all of these different types of storytelling methods. So if you're someone who loves movies, writing a script, you can write scripts from starting poetry. A lot of my work has started from just like a little haiku like on a page, and it's ended up into like a whole 120 page like film. Um, yeah, so that's kind of what I write. I write stories about the people that reflect me. I write stories about the communities that I see myself in. I write stories about Black imagination and just like how we see ourselves in the future and how we see ourselves in the past. Um, Pretty much anything that makes me smile or makes me have any type of emotion, whether that's anger or sadness or love, all of that stuff. Um, I see valuable in writing. Um, so yeah, that's a long-winded answer to like a short response. As far as why I write, it's really important to me because writing for me is a process of healing. So I found out early that expressing myself on a piece of paper or on a computer on a page was a lot easier than trying to express myself like verbally. Um, so I think I still write to this day because of that. It's a way for me to express myself, and to be creative in that way of expressing myself. And that's really important to find things that really just sit with you that way. And how I write, it changes from day to day. But I try to stay consistent with it, even during a pandemic, even during now. So it doesn't matter if it starts out or it ends up as a sentence on a page or a little thought or a jotting. Um, that little sentence is going to turn into a paragraph, and that paragraph is going to turn into something else, whether that's a book or a film or a play or anything that you want it to be. But it starts with just writing down those first thoughts. So how I write is I get up in the morning. I take a piece of paper. I write either the dream down that I had the night before or a thought that I have going into the day. And I try to end each day doing the same thing, with just a reflection on what I went through and how I'm seeing things or how that day happened, just anything. And just keep a journal of it. Start out in the morning, end up in the evening, and go back to it whenever you want to. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's hard trying to, name yourself as a writer. So I just like telling stories. And if you're someone who just likes telling stories, I say be open to exploring with all of it. So as far as your prompt, because this is writing our lives and this is in the spirit of writing our lives, I wanted to give you guys something fun and a little bit different. So I like writing with my senses. That's kind of like how I start off with the things that I physically and emotionally and sensibly, I'm making up words, but so did Shakespeare. So we can make up all the words that we want to make up. But I kind of like using my senses to kind of like activate like my writing style. And I do that through objects, because objects, whether it's like a cup of coffee or whether it's your cell phone in your left hand, They hold memories that we are associating ourselves with. And they hold up space and they have their own memories and like their own interactions like in those spaces. So it's a really cool thing if you want to like add like a layer of realness to like a scene or like to a page in your book or to your poem. Objects can really like brighten it up and make it illuminating. So the prompt is, in your space right now, take a look around. What's in here? If you're in your room, you have posters up. Are there things from your childhood? Is there like a really flashy watch or necklace that your parents just got you for Christmas 2 years ago? My parents didn't get me that yet, but I'm hoping for this year. But look at that object, find an object that you hold some type of memory with, right? And in that object, see if that memory that you hold with that object, if you have an emotion that is associated with that memory and with that object. That's step one. Step two is the writing part. Once you sat there and you looked at the object, you observed it, you kind of went back into time or forward into time or went right into the present time. But with that object, describe it. What does it look like? How does it make you feel right now? And how did it make you feel back then? And see if you can make a story with that object at the very center of that story. So if it's a cup of coffee, and my very first experience with a cup of coffee was my grandma giving me a whole cup of milk and just putting a spoonful of coffee in there. I have an emotion of my grandma in that scene, drinking her cup of coffee and me drinking mine, and us just sitting at the table having conversations that me and her only had. So your writing prompt is to pick an object that's in your immediate proximity, to really think about a memory that you have with that object, describe the object, and see if you can write an emotional story around the object in that memory. So I hope you guys have fun today. Be well. If you have any questions at all, ask one of the Writing Our Lives facilitators to send you my email, and reach out and have fun and write and be beautiful and be all of the things that you want to write about in the world, because it's important that we have storytellers right now and we have storytellers later because we had storytellers in the past. So every day I write, Writing Our Lives 2020. Love you guys.